Representative Deal of the Republican Party is squawking and screaming about the health care legislation, complaining that it can create a $250 billion deficit in the budget in the future. What I'm interested in knowing where Representative Deal was when George W. Bush was tearing 50 and $100 billion holes in the deficit that we'll never be able to pay off. Where was his complaint about the expenditures that Bush was making then? You didn't hear a squawk out of him. You didn't hear a word from him. You didn't hear a word from any of these Republicans that are now screaming doom. Yet, when something comes up that helps the poor, the Republicans squall like they've been raped. You know, it's typical age-old politics. If it's for the poor, the Democrats support it. If it's for the rich, the Republicans support it. Eventually, you have to do something for the common working class people. This nation wasn't built and created for the Democrats or the Republicans only. The Republicans have raided the coffers. Big banks and big business, which are Republican controlled, have managed to tear holes in the banking system, the mortgage markets, put the country in ruin. And yet, even when all of this happened, Republican representatives were fighting mad when the president suggested cutting off the bonuses to these big bankers. You need to wake up in the Republican Party. If you expect the support of the American people, you're going to have to do something for the working class American people. Not the idiots up there in big banking that are scathing thieves. It's time to wake up and realize that it's the common everyday working man earning $50,000 and less that supports the economy of this country, not corporate bankers that walk away with $200 and $250 million a year bonuses. It's the common working class man that pays the taxes to keep this government working well. W hands out tax breaks for the richest 1/3 of all people. It's poor working class stiffs that end up footing the bill. And it seems like in the last 2 years, people have been fed up with it. They put a stop to it. The Republicans suffered a pretty sound defeat in the last election. People are upset right now because they realize they're just coming to see the amount of damage that the Republican Party did to this country in the last years. So people need to look back, and not necessarily look back just to George Bush. Let's look all the way back when President Clinton left office. The country was running in a surplus. A surplus. Yet now we're looking at complete ruination. And this all started because Bush let the bankers raid the vaults and walk away in an unregulated industry with trillions of dollars in wealth. And when it comes time to answer for it, where are they? Republicans need to wake up. Sad. It's sad when the average working class person realizes that if they have a child, that child is born with $360,000 in debt. It's sadder yet, though, when you realize that the average child now being born, if the Republicans get their way, with little or no chance of ever having any medical care. So we need to pull things together and start taking from the filthy rich bankers and putting it back in the hands of people who built this nation. Not Not the banking giants, the everyday working man.
turns into an asteroid. But is it possible